Maya met Daniel on a Tuesday. Just 30 days later, that relationship had already revealed 7 red flags. The strange part wasn't that Maya missed them. The strange part is that not one of them looked dangerous at the time. They looked thoughtful. They looked romantic. They looked exactly like the relationship she'd been hoping to find. And that's the trap. The most dangerous red flags don't look red in the beginning. They look like everything you've been waiting for. Maya wasn't looking for a perfect relationship anymore. After months of disappointing dates, she just wanted someone who felt genuine. On a Sunday evening, she matched with Daniel on a dating app, and their first conversation was easy and surprisingly comfortable. By Monday morning, a simple good morning text was waiting for her. Nothing dramatic, just thoughtful enough to make her smile. By Wednesday, they were talking before work, during lunch, and again before bed. By Friday, they'd already shared childhood memories, favorite movies, and future travel plans. The kind of stories that usually take months to tell. Daniel even joked, "It feels like we've known each other forever." And Maya laughed because she felt it too. Nothing about it felt suspicious. It felt fast, but it also felt right. Looking back though, the relationship wasn't growing slowly. It was moving at a speed that felt exciting enough to hide the fact that trust was forming long before either of them had actually earned it. The second week felt even better, until the first cracks appeared. One evening, while introducing Maya to a friend on a video call, Daniel casually said, "This is my girlfriend." They had never actually talked about being exclusive. When Maya brought it up later, Daniel just laughed and said, "I thought it was obvious." That confidence was enough to make her let it go. That was red flag number 1, a label applied without a conversation, decided for her instead of with her. A few days later, Maya mentioned how much she loved spending Sunday mornings alone with coffee and a book. Daniel said he admired that about her. The very next Sunday, he showed up at her apartment with breakfast. It felt sweet, so she invited him in, never noticing that he'd quietly ignored the boundary she'd shared just days earlier. That was red flag number 2, a boundary tested and crossed, disguised as a romantic gesture. Later that same week, Maya mentioned having lunch with a male coworker. Daniel laughed and asked, "Should I be worried?" She laughed too, until he repeated the same joke 3 more times that evening. At first, it sounded playful. Looking back, it wasn't playful at all. That was red flag number 3, jealousy, quietly testing how much control he already had, wrapped inside something that looked like humor. None of these moments felt alarming on their own. That was exactly the point. By the 3rd week, Maya was more certain than ever that she'd finally met someone truly compatible. Whenever she shared something personal, Daniel seemed to feel exactly the same way. She mentioned loving quiet weekend hikes. He said hiking had always been one of his favorite things too. She talked about how close she was with her older sister and how much family meant to her. Daniel said the same, word for word in spirit. They liked the same movies. They wanted to visit the same places. Every conversation seemed to land on the same opinion, every time. One evening, Maya told her best friend, "I've never met anyone this much like me." Her friend paused, then asked one simple question. "Has Daniel ever disagreed with you about anything?" Maya thought about it and couldn't come up with a single example. At the time, that felt like proof they were perfect together. It wasn't. It was something psychologists call mirroring, when someone reflects your interests, values, and personality back at you to manufacture the feeling of instant compatibility. Real connection takes time to reveal itself because two people naturally have differences. Mirroring skips that process entirely, and it lowers your guard far faster than genuine trust ever could. By the end of the third week, Maya felt completely understood. What she didn't realize was that she still knew almost nothing about who Daniel actually was. She had spent 3 weeks discovering someone who looked remarkably like herself, and that's exactly what made red flag number 4 the easiest one to miss. By the start of the 4th week, Maya noticed something had quietly shifted. Without realizing it, she'd started making small decisions based on how Daniel might react. When her friends invited her to dinner one Friday, she mentioned it on a call with Daniel. He didn't ask her to cancel. He just sighed softly and said, "That's okay. I'll probably just spend the evening alone." The words sounded harmless, but Maya suddenly felt guilty for keeping plans she'd been looking forward to all week. She apologized to her friends and stayed home instead. That was red flag number 5, guilt, offered instead of a request, so she'd feel responsible for his disappointment without him ever having to ask for anything. A few days later, Daniel started talking about the future as if it had already been decided. Moving in together, vacations next summer, even what their future kids might look like. It sounded exciting, but Maya later realized something strange. Daniel was making detailed promises about a future they hadn't earned yet, while the present relationship had barely been given room to grow. That was red flag number 6, a future built in conversation, faster than trust was being built in reality. Then came the final shift. Daniel mentioned, almost in passing, "Your friends don't really understand you the way I do." Days later, he questioned one of her coworkers, then her sister. Slowly, the people Maya trusted most were being quietly replaced by one person, insisting he understood her better than anyone. That was red flag number 7, isolation, dressed up as closeness. None of these moments felt alarming by themselves. Together, they were a pattern. And for the first time, Maya found herself wondering whether the relationship she'd fallen for had ever really existed at all, or whether she'd fallen for a reflection of herself, built by someone who knew exactly what to show her. Here's what makes stories like Maya's so common. Manipulation rarely starts with obvious cruelty. It usually starts with attention, validation, and emotional intensity. In the first few weeks of attraction, your brain releases dopamine and other chemicals that make new experiences feel exciting and rewarding. That part is completely normal. The problem is that intense emotion can make a fast-moving relationship feel trustworthy long before trust has actually been earned. That's why healthy relationships don't need rushed labels, rushed futures, or rushed emotional dependence. Real trust is built through consistency, respect for boundaries, honest disagreement, and time. If someone seems perfect within the first few weeks, the right question isn't whether they make you feel excited. It's whether they've had enough time to actually show you who they are. Chemistry can happen instantly. Character cannot. Maya didn't just lose the relationship she thought she had. She lost time, believing in a version of Daniel that was built specifically for her to fall for and never actually existed. If any part of Maya's story reminded you of someone, or even of your own experience, you're not alone. Which of these 7 red flags stood out to you the most? Tell us the number in the comments. Your experience might help someone else recognize the pattern before it becomes a painful lesson. And if you want more real relationship stories backed by psychology, subscribe to Red Flag Diaries. Every episode is built to help you recognize manipulation earlier, trust your own instincts, and build relationships that are actually real. We'll see you in the next story.